he actually he back to Spitball and Sports. I'm John. Scott is at a concert, so he'll have a nice night. Beautiful outside, so that's cool. Peter Gabriel, old 80s, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
Genesis and the bunch.
Yeah.
See how much I know about music?
Yeah, I know. For somebody who hates it, you know a lot about it.
Robin's here with me, so she'll be sitting along talking
Hi, everyone.
with us. Chris says hello. Hey, Chris. So all right. A lot of stuff happened this week. It's week 3 of the NFL, week 4 of college football. But before we get into that, because we do go over every game and we'll pick our games that we like.
Oh, yeah.
But then we'll pick all the games too as we go along. Just depends if we're going to play them or not.
Yes.
A lot happened this week, and injuries, right? We had Chubb's horrible injury.
Yeah.
And he's done for the year.
Somebody on Facebook, I know, commented to you, one of our friends, and I agree with them that it reminded me of Willis McGahee.
Yeah, kind of did. And I also know that Jerome Ford, I think it is the running back. But unfortunately, here comes Kareem Hunt. So if you're in fantasy, they couldn't just go with Ford. They had to go get Hunt. So now you'll never know.
Right.
For now, Ford is the lead back.
I guarantee we'll kill that because
him up. Yeah, we'll kill it. But I mean,
we had, for anybody out there who might care, we had because
we drafted right on
the show here. We drafted Chubb and Dobbins.
And they're all gone.
Yeah.
And the backups are all messed up too because Gus Edwards, Justin, it's just mess. There's
Justice
no one.
Hill.
He's hurt too. So
Justice Hill is?
Yeah, he's a little banged up. As far as other injuries that would be important, Diggs, Dallas.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs.
Yes, he is sadly unfortunate, done for the year in a practice, ACL. So he is out also. That'll hurt them, but they still got a good team. I don't know. I think they'll be able to recover. It'll hurt though.
It's too bad. Yeah,
he's good.
He's a big part of the defense.
And they'll recover. I mean, I think they'll miss him for sure, but I think they'll be able to beat the Eagles if they put it all together. They could beat them once.
Right.
So whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Or maybe even win the division. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
So here's what happened though for the Bears. And you guys know I'm a Bears fan. Whoever watches this or knows me for a long time, Robin as well. Too. This was the most unbelievable week I've ever seen in my life. They had first. I got to talk about the week. The week started out with Braxton Jones, all rookie left tackle. Seems like he's done for the year. That's a big blow because our offensive line stinks as it is. After that, all of a sudden, now the game last week, defensive coordinator Alan Williams was gone for personal reasons. Well, this week, like on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the hell it was, all of a sudden there's reports coming in that the FBI has raided Hallis Hall. FBI has raided his house. They didn't raid Hallis Hall. Allegedly, from what I'm hearing, they did raid his house. Alan Williams now resigns. So he's gone in the middle of the game 3. After game 2, there's no defensive coordinator. He resigns. Jaquan Brister likes a tweet from Stephen A. Smith calling the Bears garbage. So that's not a good sign. And then Justin Fields comes in, and he has a pretty. It was to me. He said he's talking about why he's struggling, and he feels robotic, is what he's saying. He says it could be the coaching. All hell breaks loose. When he comes back from practice, it's all over the internet. Now he's got to come back and speak to the media again to tell them, that he, just saying all you'd imagine.
Right.
He hugs Getsy outside. They're all hugging and everything's fine, supposedly. One thing he said was, though, I'm going to forget all this pocket stuff and I'm going to go out there and play like I know I can. So it's obviously they're trying to keep him in the pocket. They're trying. This is the thing.
Right.
So he's saying that. Fine. Whatever. I don't even care anymore. Because to be perfectly honest with you, this whole thing with Fields, look at these quarterbacks. And I just thought of them earlier. And their coaches. You have Doug Peterson with Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have Mike McDaniel with Tua, and Tua's going to could be MVP if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
That's how good that's going. Nick Sirianni with Hurts.
Yeah.
They got offensive guys. For some reason, they hire Matt Eberflus with Luke Getsy, who has never been anything but quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator for the Packers with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
It wasn't for Jordan Love. It's for Aaron Rodgers. So he doesn't got to do much, I assume, when it comes to, it's not a young guy.
Yeah.
So they do that. And people are trying to tell me, first off, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mac Jones, and anyone else that was drafted in that draft have Justin Fields in college threw 68 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He had a stretch in the last year where he played Indiana Northwestern and threw 5 picks out of the 9. And then he went on to play Clemson in the playoff and throw 6 touchdowns with a broken rib or whatever the hell it was.
Yep.
So, okay. Everyone knows how to evaluate talent, I guess. I don't understand how they know, because how could you know with quarterbacks when some people tell me, oh, it's a totally different game. And then other people tell me, you can hear it. You hear both sides of this. So it's a totally different game for Ohio State, but it's not a totally different game for Clemson, Oklahoma, Alabama, and anyone else.
Right.
Ohio State is able to keep their quarterbacks' heads, and every time they're wide open. They never, ever are making any other decision. Somehow, some way, Justin Fields was able to do that for 2 years and a half. He was able to always find he didn't have to do nothing. Because at Ohio State, you know how many yards he rushed for in his career?
No.
1,100.
Wow.
He didn't run at Ohio State. He didn't run. He ran when he had to, and he could, and he was fast, and he did well. C.J. Stroud didn't run. When he ran against Georgia, it was a big deal. I remember in that game. They had actually helped. They almost won. So get off the Justin Fields thing. It goes more to that organization. Think about the organization. Ryan Pace. We got to go back just a little bit before and I'll go quick. Ryan Pace gets there with Cutler.
Right.
Okay. Doesn't want to have Cutler no more. John Fox is there. Fires John Fox and brings in, for quarterback, big money, Mike Glennon. Terrible Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
Pays him big money. Nagy comes along. Thankfully, he doesn't get to draft Mariota because he was trying to trade up, and he was desperately trying to trade for Carson Wentz or Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson was a huge amount of draft picks. Would have crippled him even more. So, okay, you got that. Trubisky gets drafted. Trubisky, now, think about it. He almost wins that double doink playoff game. Almost wins it. Nagy's on the sideline. He played great that game, almost over 300 yards. Drove them down the field to win the game when Parkey doinks it.
Right.
If he wins that game and goes to another round, plays well there, it might be a whole other story, right? Could be a whole different story in Chicago with that whole situation.
Yeah.
All that falls apart. We offensive coordinators. Now, Cutler's offensive coordinator was Adam Gase. After that, these guys were terrible. These are guys. There's one guy that was only, I can't remember his name, Loggins. There was another guy named Helfrich. These guys are terrible. Now you get Luke Getsy. So he gets lucky enough, and we don't understand why the Bears allowed. I was yelling at like a while to you that why are they allowing this guy to make a draft pick? Why aren't they fired?
Right.
Nope. They allow him to make the pick. He's lucky enough, in my mind, to have gotten Fields where he did at 11.
Right.
Because he could end up with a few other guys that are probably not in worse shape, believe it or not. So anyhow, that happens. They bring Fields in, and they have Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton gets hurt. Here comes Fields. It's a mess, as we would think. Mm-hmm. But here's what happens. They fire Nagy, and they fire Pace after letting him draft the quarterback.
Right.
Here comes Ryan Poles, and I don't mind him, I don't think, but he's done some stupid stuff. And then, like, not Jalen Carter, everyone that told me about Chase Claypool's right, the whole thing. So now you have him there right now with Eberflus and Luke Getsy. What in the world would you think that you're going to have Justin Fields that you know is going to need help and have a guy like Luke Getsy?
Right.
Remember, Cutler had Adam Gase.
Right.
Adam Gase did so well as offensive coordinator. He got a job in Miami. with Cutler that year.
Right.
That was a big deal when they took him away. I wanted Adam Gase to be their head coach.
Yes.
Of the Bears.
Yes.
So all that goes on. Real long story short. Luke Getsy, by the way, quarterback coach at Green Bay and offensive coordinator at Mississippi State. So that's his credentials. And quarterback coach / offensive coordinator with Aaron Rodgers, who basically was his own.
Right.
So there you go there. Don't forget, one thing that you can't, they have Matt Barkley too. He brought in like 8 quarterbacks, Ryan Pace. The point of this for me is it's the organization stinks. It's one of the worst I've ever seen. Yeah. It's absolutely terrible. It doesn't matter. Trevor Lawrence, any one of those other guys I mentioned would not be doing well with the Bears. If Pat Mahomes got drafted by the Bears, I don't know what would have happened to him.
Yeah.
If they just make that pick and everything continues the way it did, just put his name in there. He does not successful in Chicago. He's not. Right. How could he be? There would have been no way he could be successful with this going on like it is.
No.
So the Justin Fields stuff, and it's beyond him. It goes right to the ownership of Virginia McCaskey, who I'm seriously is 100 years old. She is the daughter of George Halas, still alive, and her son, who's in his 70s. This is unbelievable. I mean, you just had the FBI take out your defensive coordinator in week 2.
Yeah.
Heading in to play the Chiefs. Think about that chaos that's going on.
Yeah.
It's the biggest train wreck in sport. There is nothing worse than this.
If the Chiefs don't absolutely stomp the Bears this week, it'll. I would doubt the Chiefs seriously.
Do you know that Justin Fields in college only ran for 100 yards twice in all of his games?
Yeah, because he wasn't.
I watched them all. You watched them all. I watched every single snap that guy played at Ohio State, and unfortunately at Chicago too.
Right.
And there is no way that this should be the way it is. There's just no way. I'm not saying that he's going to be one of those guys like Hurts too or whatever. I'm just saying it shouldn't be this bad.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't. They have no offensive line. Ryan Poles is really could be fired in my opinion.
I think the play calling is terrible.
Oh, it is terrible, and that's why he said what he said.
Yeah.
And then some people got upset. Some people said good. I'm glad he said it. He should say it because it's terrible.
I said it last week during the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, someone's got to say it. And if they can't, and if the quarterback, this isn't 1987. He can say whatever they say what they got to say.
Right.
Guys are giving the finger on fucking on Twitter and putting, what about Joe Brisker is liking tweets where they're saying Chicago's trash. So, and he's right, but whatever. For me, it's just an organizational problem. I don't know how they ever win a game this year. I have a feeling they get 0.
I think that's for the best. Well,
it could be only if who's doing what.
Yeah.
Now, who's making these choices again? Right. It's for the best if you have somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right.
You've got to fire Eberflus. You cannot continue having a defensive-minded head coach.
Right.
It's just not the way of the world anymore.
No.
It doesn't work. It's not going to work.
Certainly not with the young
Look in Buffalo. It's the same kind of, but they have better talent. But the issue is sometimes, Dabo left and all that stuff. Right. Wouldn't they rather have Mike McDaniel or Doug Peterson or Nick Sirianni there? Sure they would.
Right.
The days of these defensive coordinator guys, I used to love it. That's what I wanted. The Bears used to win with that.
Yeah.
Lovie Smith, the whole thing, but it's a totally different world. They're doing totally different things now. You need to be offensive. You can't go into games with Luke Getsy. Right. You can't have him call it. He was the quarterback's coach / offensive coordinator / offensive freaking like quality control for Aaron Rodgers. So, Matt Nagy was fine. When Matt Nagy came, I'm like, okay, he had you had the Mahomes deal with him.
Right.
You almost now, in retrospect, I wish he was still here. I would have kept Nagy.
Yeah.
And fired Pace.
Sure.
Because maybe something different here. I don't know. But right now, Eberflus is lost. Eberflus is no different than John Fox was.
Right.
Maybe worse, probably worse.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Eberflus hire to begin with. What was that about? That was bizarre.
It was.
Just because he was from the Colts? I guess that's what it was.
Yeah.
And why do you want to imitate the Colts?
Right.
They're in deep trouble, and it's the worst I've ever seen. They're terrible.
They are, and they need to redo everything.
They got to fire everyone.
Yeah.
Can you believe this?
They need to clean
They
house
won't be good for another 7 years.
No. They need to clean house. They need to finish absolutely last and get the first draft. And pray that Carolina.
No, but you got to pray that they do something to
terrible.
Have the people that are going to pick the right
players. That's what I mean. They got to get rid of.
I don't even know what they do. You almost have to hope they sell the team. That's part of this problem. They're going into a new stadium. I almost wish they'd sell the team.
Yeah.
The McCaskies got to go.
Yeah.
They're the biggest problem you have because they don't know anything. They do not know when to pull the trigger on anyone. The fact that they allowed Ryan Pace, after all that was going on and the pressure was on with Nagy and those guys, to make that draft choice.
Right. Stupid.
Tells you, because then you're going to bring in a guy that's not your quarterback. It always never works.
Right.
It hardly works. They're trying to make it work, but it ain't going to work.
Yeah.
It's not working.
No.
All right, enough with them. We already wasted enough time, but they stink. What do we want to talk about? Let's talk about week 3 of the NFL. I got a little graphic here, and there's all the games. We already had one last night where the 49ers won 30 to 12? I wrote it down somewhere. I don't remember what the score was. I think that might have been the score. It was 30 to 12. San Francisco won last night.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Yeah.
Whatever you did in that game was easy money. 12.5 wasn't enough. And the Giants stink. They can't play defense.
No. And
they got names, and they're just not good.
Yeah.
They're not good at all. They get run over. They're like cream puffs defensively, like the Bears.
Right.
The same. I'm seeing the same things.
Yeah.
And without Barkley, it's a bad situation there. It's only week 2. Maybe they can get better, whereas the other team we were just talking about can't. So we got a whole slate of games. College football, too. There's some good ones in college football, by the way. Why don't I mention them? Because I know we'll pick games. Okay. Oh, I got some games. But Colorado is at Oregon. That's number 19 Colorado at number 10 Oregon. Colorado's plus 21. A lot of people.
Hope Oregon beats the hell out of them.
Some people are predicting it. I have a pick in that game later. Number 4 FSU Florida State is -2 at Clemson. Clemson, remember, lost that opening night to North Carolina, I think it was.
Right.
And they're not even ranked. So that's an interesting game.
That is interesting.
Ole Miss, number 15, plays number 13 Alabama. Number 22 UCLA at number 11 Utah. Number 14 Oregon State at number 21 Washington State. Number 24 Iowa is at number 7 Penn State, which will be pretty good.
Oh, that's a good game, yeah.
And then the big one is number 6 Ohio State at number 9 Notre Dame. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I think Ohio State might be going the way of Alabama right now. They're kind of reloading.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this team's good enough. I don't know. It would not shock me if they lost outright tomorrow. It wouldn't shock me in the least. It's -3.5. I don't know. I thought Ohio State wasn't going to be. I thought for sure they would be closer than 3.5.
Yeah.
If they win at Notre Dame, that'll be a great sign. Maybe they have, but I could see them. It wouldn't shock me if they lost over there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me with the way Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame's probably overrated as well. I mean, but they got the new quarterback Hartman or whatever, and they look like they're kind of, moving along. Once again, I think the Ohio State issue is I don't like Ryan Day much.
I don't either.
And I don't like Knowles either, the defensive coordinator. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. They got too much talent on defense to not be able to stop the run.
Right.
That's insane. So I don't know what's going to happen in that game. Then I got a whole slate of games that I picked. In college football, I mean, Colorado, I'm shocked it's 21.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be that high.
Yeah.
Considering.
Right.
The machine.
Right.
So, okay, San Francisco wins last night 30-12 on Thursday Night Football. What are you? I'm going to start with the 1 o'clock games.
Yep.
And then we'll decide if we're going to take them. We'll pick the game, and then we'll see if we want to play the game.
Okay.
So you know what? I should probably play our song. I didn't do it last week.
Yeah.
All right, Scott's not here tonight. He's at a concert, and Robin's sitting in over here. And soon you're going to see Robin because we're making some changes here to where we're going to have a kind of a little area.
Yeah.
So, and then Robin, you'll be able to see her, and you won't be hearing her. Let's start with the first game that I have written down. It's the Bills at the Commanders.
Okay.
It's a 1 o'clock game. The Commanders are +6.5. The Commanders are 2-0. They've played okay. I don't think they're worth the two. I don't. Whatever.
Impressive 2-0 start.
I can't see how Buffalo can't win by 7. I'm having a hard time believing they don't win. They don't win by 7. Think about it. If they win the game 28-21, that's a good game. Washington. Then that means Washington held their ground.
Right.
Like the game was in doubt at one point. I don't know if they're good enough to hang with them with Howell.
That's true.
At quarterback, and I think the running back's dinged up too. So you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't think they have it in them. If I don't, I think Buffalo might be a play.
Yeah, I would go with Buffalo too. I think their offensive line might struggle a little bit.
Maybe.
And it might be a tight game, but I don't think it'll be tight as in less than a touchdown.
Yeah, they could win by 13.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're gonna win by like 7-10 maybe.
Yeah. It could get away from Washington. It wouldn't. It depends on Howell.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
I don't know how he performs in this.
Right.
But I have to say,
who have they beat?
And weather might be a factor. Charlie said. I don't even know who. I don't know. I don't know who they beat. You could probably look it up with your new phone.
Yeah.
You can figure it out. I know that. I think I got to go with Buffalo, but I think they're going to beat them by 7.
Yes.
So that's going to be a pick. That'll be one of our selections. Speaking of that, I should tell everybody what we are. Horrible college last week. Oh my God. Against the spread, the NFL were 9-5, and in college football we're 6-4. So that tells you how bad that was last week in college football. I knew there'd be a stat correction. I kind of told you that we would have a correction there.
Yeah.
So we go with Buffalo. We're going to play Buffalo too.
Yes.
We will bet Buffalo. We're good to cover.
The Commanders beat the Cardinals 20-16, and they beat the Broncos 35-33.
Yeah. Not good. I mean, whatever. Good for them. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, definitely. I definitely go with the Bills.
All right. Here's our next game. This is kind of a similar game to me. The Dolphins and the Broncos. The Dolphins are home. The Dolphins are -6.5. Waddle's in concussion protocol. I'm not sure what that means, if he'll play or not. They didn't say. 1 o'clock game. Again, I think Miami can win by 7 here.
I do too. I mean, Denver's traveling a long way to Miami's home opener.
Hot. It'll be hot. It'll be hot down there.
Yeah, weather again will be a big factor.
And Russell Wilson just doesn't look good right now.
No.
Maybe they'll get better as they go on, but it doesn't look really, really good right now.
I thought he was gonna be okay in Denver. I thought maybe he would even be good. And then when he wasn't, I was intrigued this year because of Sean Payton. I thought that maybe they would show a little something, but I haven't seen it yet.
They need to run the ball more.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams doesn't really, I thought he'd be a little more of a factor.
Right.
I have a feeling Miami covers as well.
Yes.
I'm going to say we would put this game out.
Yes.
As a one that we might feel confident in.
Yes.
The level of confidence in this is pretty high.
Yeah.
In both the ones we just mentioned.
Right.
All right, next game. Gardner Minshew is starting for Indy. at Baltimore. Baltimore's -8. I don't like if we don't come to a consensus, we don't play it.
Right.
I would say I don't like the game. I
I
Minshew is
don't
a
either.
is a different Minshew's the type of guy that could make this a 3-point game. You know what I mean? He's got that kind of like that goofball. What's that guy's name? Fitzpatrick. He's got that kind of thing about him.
Yes.
Where he might be the modern day Fitzpatrick.
Right.
So,
also with yeah.
And the running game is light right now for Baltimore, obviously, with only Gus Edwards.
Right.
But I think I'm going to pass on this. But if I had to play it, I might go Indy +8.
I would too. With Minshew starting, I think
I'd give it a shot. I'd hope it'd go even higher.
Yeah, I think he hangs around,
Yeah,
but not that strongly. Lamar Jackson's playing really well.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say he's in. He continues to play after only 2 games, obviously. So I'm,
I haven't seen his stats at all. I haven't even noticed.
But he's got MVP like.
What's he doing?
Who
the hell's he throwing? MVP like?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you got to tell me what MVP. I would say Indy, but we're not betting this one.
No.
This would be one that does not go. All right, do you got him? Because I have no idea what he's done. Baltimore's the most boring team in the league to me. I can't stand watching them. I can't stand. I just don't. I don't know what it is. They bore me. And they should be exciting, I guess. But so what do we got for numbers?
Ain't
coming up. No.
His numbers aren't super great, but
it can't be MVP numbers. I mean, Tua's at MVP.
Yeah, no, I take that back.
I didn't think so because they'd be going wild on TV. If he was like that,
yeah,
all hell would be breaking loose. You want to move on?
Yes.
This game stinks. Houston at Jacksonville. Jacksonville -9. I wouldn't. I don't even want to bet it. I don't know. I mean, in the past, these games are pain in the ass. Every time that division plays each other, it's a mess.
Right.
The Colts, all these Indy, and everybody, and it's always unpredictable.
I would stay away from this game because the Texans usually give the Jaguars a hard time, but I have a feeling that this is going to be Trevor Lawrence's breakout game of the season. I think he's really going to play well. So I go back and forth on who I like. If I had to pick it,
I go with Jacksonville.
I would go with Jacksonville.
To try to cover.
But
yeah, it's hard to go with a rookie and Stroud.
Yeah.
And stuff. Although he played really well last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll probably pass on that one.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is this is interesting. Atlanta at Detroit. Detroit's -3. Montgomery's out, but they got other running backs. If Detroit is as good as they say they are, they should cover and win.
Right.
In Atlanta. In Detroit against Atlanta, right? I mean, Atlanta's got, what are they?
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's defense is not that good.
And they got Ritter?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say if Detroit is legitimate, like they try to make them out to be, NFC Championship almost type game, they got to win this game.
And I think they win.
Well, they just got to win by 3. Over 3.
Is the line's 3, not 3.5?
I saw 3 on DraftKings. I'd probably go with Detroit if I'm doing this. If I pick Detroit. If you don't, it's not a consensus, and then we'll just scratch it.
I wouldn't bet this game.
Okay, but I like Detroit if I was going to bet.
Okay.
For sure. They should beat them if they're as good as being advertised.
I don't think they're as good as being advertised. And I would, if it stays at 3, I would go with Detroit. If you can catch it at 3.5 and get that extra half point, I might take the Falcons.
This next game is New England at the Jets. The Jets are +2.5. I don't like this game at all. I'm not taking it. I don't want anything to do with it. These two teams, you never know what's going to go on. And now that you have Zach Wilson in there, I don't know. I'm I can't. I won't take it. I couldn't even tell you who I think's going to win. If I like, I mean, like how usually we'll pick a game, we'll pick
Right.
it. The gun would have to be to my head, and I'd go with the Jets just because their defense. But offensively, he's just bad, Zach Wilson.
Did you know that the Patriots have won 14 straight in this matchup?
You told me the other day. I didn't know that right now.
Yeah.
I don't like this game at all.
I don't like it either. What I do like is and I don't know what it's at, but I don't even care what it's at. I like the under.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting what it is. If it's 40, maybe, if we're lucky. Maybe it's 38.
I don't care. I like under.
Yeah, it's not a bad call. So we'll stay away from those 4 games.
Yeah.
The next one is interesting. Tennessee at Cleveland. Cleveland's minus 3.5. We know what's up with Chubb. I'm not playing this one either, and if I was going to, I'd go with Tennessee. I don't like them giving points. I don't know why. Deshaun Watson's not good.
What is the line again?
3.5 minus for Cleveland's minus 3.5.
I like Tennessee a lot.
Okay. Well, I would go with Tennessee. Do we want to put it out there as a?
I would put it out there.
All right, Tennessee Titans.
Mike Vrabel is generally good as an underdog.
He's good in Ohio too. He's going home. He's going to be head coach of
the Browns defense is good, but even the Steelers were able to get some big plays against them. I don't see why Tennessee couldn't do the same.
Is everyone healthy? Yeah, right. Everyone's good. I think that
Sean Watson's not playing well.
No, and I don't see it coming, or I don't know if I see it happening.
Right.
It's hard to tell. I mean, we got to let the whole season play out, but as of right now, I don't see it.
No.
I really don't see any glimmers of hope. So that means we have Buffalo +6, minus 6.5, Miami minus 6.5, Tennessee +3.5. The next 1:00 game, this is a big game for these two teams. The Chargers are at the Vikings. Eckler's still a question mark. Minnesota's -1, so basically it's win the game. I cannot.
Both of these teams need a win so badly.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I probably have to go with the Chargers, maybe. But it wouldn't shock me if they lost, I guess. And to get their head coach fired finally.
Yeah. I mean, the Vikings will be on 10 days rest. If that matters. My whole thing with the Chargers is they can't stop anyone.
It's unbelievable.
It's just ridiculous.
You almost. I am not playing. I won't bet this one.
Yeah, I don't like this one, but I would take a look at what the over is.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, next game. This is the last 1:00 game. New Orleans at Green Bay -1.5. That's all as Green Bay is. Watson and Jones battling hamstrings. Don't know if they're playing or not. Another one. I would think Green Bay wins at home.
I would think
over New Orleans. I don't feel confident. I could see New Orleans winning.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me. The weather's fine. It's going to probably even be pleasant.
Right.
So
I think it's going to be a defensive battle.
I will say this: Jordan Love has impressed me.
Yeah,
he's not bad.
Yeah,
he's all right, and good for him. He sat for 3 years, like maybe you're supposed to these days. Even though they try to rush you.
Yeah.
So we won't go with that game, but if I was going to pick it, I'd go Packers.
Same.
I believe, but it wouldn't surprise. No shock if New Orleans. And the line's only 1.5 for that reason.
Right.
There's a single 4:00 game, and Bryce Young is out, so that means Andy Dalton, who we talked about just a few minutes ago, is in for Carolina at Seattle. Seattle's -6.5. Here's the funny thing about that. I almost, if I was Seattle, would have wanted Young.
Right.
Than the veteran, but Dalton is what he is. It's a tough line. It's a little high with it's 6.5. They should win by 7 if they're any good. It's another 6.5. It's all 6.5s that they need to win by a touchdown in home against Carolina with Andy Dalton.
God, yeah. I mean, I feel like the Seahawks think they can get in the race for the NFC West.
Definitely a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Because it's a weak NFC. They got to win
The
this.
Panthers defense has injuries, I think.
Yeah, I mean they're playing Andy Dalton. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, it's probably maybe a little more, at least. Well, Andy Dalton will be a little more like conservative, I guess. Or he
Right.
might have bigger plays with the other guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
don't have much there in Carolina, really.
Right. Yeah, I would go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, me too. -6.5. I hope I just win by 7. Win by
Right.
a touchdown.
Yeah.
If Carolina holds on to that where it's a close game at the end, Seattle better take a look at itself. 425 games. We have 2 games with huge lines. The Cowboys are at the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are +12.5. I mean, it's funny, Dobbs or whatever, whoever the quarterback is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's good, but he hasn't been bad.
No,
He's been okay.
They've kept the first 2 games close.
So, weren't they beating the Giants by like 20 at half?
Yes, they were.
And blew it. I don't like this game.
I do not either.
I mean, I could see anything happening here. I could see a cheap touchdown in the end. I could see a bullshit field goal that makes this line do whatever.
Yeah. If I had to pick it, I would take the Cardinal, but I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I will say this. The Bears Chiefs, this line is too low at -12.5. This should be 15. It should have been, or if it was 15, I'd consider the Bears. 2 touchdowns plus.
Right.
At 12.5, I like the Chiefs.
I do too.
Enough
oh
to
my
give.
God. And the other thing is too, not only is Chicago absolute shit and they shouldn't win a game all year, but the Chiefs have yet to be dynamic yet.
This is the perfect time.
And why not now?
No, this is the time. You get healthy, you beat the hell out of them.
And also
maybe even rest your players.
Yeah, well, Kelsey's been back now. He will have been back a game already. This is his second game, so I think you're going to have a healthier, different version of him.
Probably, yeah. And I don't know if Pacheco's back. It doesn't even matter who's back. It doesn't matter who's doing what. The Bears in 2 games have not shown that they can convert third downs. They have not shown that they can stop third downs. They have not shown anything. I'll give the defense this. They're on the field a lot.
Right.
And that sucks because it just wears you down, obviously. And but the Bears do not convert third downs. They just are a complete failure. Not bad on special teams. I'll give them that. They block a kick every here and there.
Right.
Good returns, but that's not going to win you nothing.
No.
It's not Devin Hester. So I like the Chiefs a lot.
Yes.
12.5. If it went to 15, I would be off it because I think that could be the back door.
Right.
I don't think 12.5 is like I thought in the Cardinals.
Right.
And of course, it's in Kansas City. So, all right. Then we have the Sunday night game. This is an old-time AFL, AFC, whatever. The Steelers at the Raiders. The Raiders are -2.5. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think the Steelers are any good, really.
And the Steelers' defense has been winning games. Their offense is not.
Who'd they beat? Opening day, have they even won? Oh, they beat the Browns, and they lost they got buried by San Francisco.
Right.
And they shouldn't have beat the Browns.
Right.
If they had one play, and then at the end, it was a defensive thing.
Yeah, I don't like this game.
I'd go with the Raiders.
I think the Raiders are going to struggle with the Steelers defense.
It's a long ride for the Steelers to get out there.
Yeah, it is.
Out west. I think the Raiders win.
I would probably take the points, but
yeah, we won't give it out, but I'd go with the Raiders.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win. I just have a feeling Garoppolo will be okay.
This is a game that I might look at the under.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, it's a good shot.
I think both of their offenses are going to struggle.
Boy, Najee Harris struggles.
Oh, my God. Makes me
sick. He got so slow. Monday night again with 2 games. Is this the last time with 2 games?
Yes, the last time for the season, thankfully.
So weird.
Well, I don't know what, are they slowly trying to increase it? Last year they had 1 game. Now they got 2.
I'm sure. And then they'll play games every day of the week if the NFLPA
I just hate
will allow it.
The double game and to have the start times the way they are doesn't make any sense. When you were given the West Coast a game and going 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock, at least I understood.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're making it so you can't watch.
Yeah, they try to put split screen up for you, whatever they do. 7:15, the Eagles are at the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are +5. The Buccaneers, have played well, along with Baker Mayfield so far. Mike Evans looked
I hate
good,
his rotten
and you know but they beat the Bears, and they beat someone else who I didn't. Oh, Seattle. I think it was opening day.
Yeah.
That surprised us. The
Eagles haven't looked right yet, but I think they will.
Yeah. It's a lot of
What is the line?
5. I'm glad it's not 6.5.
Yeah, I like the Eagles.
Yeah, I'll go with the Eagles too to win this game by almost a touchdown.
Yeah.
The next game's a tough one. 8:15. The Rams are at the Bengals. The Bengals are -3, and it could be Jake Browning at quarterback from the University of Washington for Cincinnati. Not sure who's playing.
Yeah.
The Rams are playing good, which is bizarre.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford has really looked good.
They're playing well. It's shocking. They don't even have Cooper Kupp, but that other guy, Pikachu, whatever his name is, he's unbelievable. He's on pace he's running wild. If you're in a league that the receptions count,
oh yeah,
they probably have him already. Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's breaking records. What are they gonna do? Cooper Kupp comes back. They still got to use him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If he ever comes back, I don't think this game can be bad.
No way. There's too many what if.
Yeah, and the Bengals are kind of. I don't know. This might be a step back here this year.
Yeah.
For them, but I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't touch it. I can't even give you who I think's going to win because I don't know if Burrow's playing.
It all depends on
if Burrow's playing and is he okay?
Right.
Can he move?
Yeah.
The Rams could win. Why not?
If Burrow doesn't play,
the Rams could win,
or is seriously hampered, I take the Rams. If Burrow's playing
and he's okay,
then I would take the Bengals.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure the line will adjust accordingly.
So far, this is what we got in the NFL. 6 games. We got the Bills -6.5, the Dolphins -6.5, Tennessee +3.5, Seattle -6.5, the Chiefs -12.5, and then on Monday night the Eagles -5. Those are our NFL games for the week. We
picked a lot of favorites. Only one underdog there.
We're 9-5, by the way, against the spread in the NFL. Well, not bad. See if we can keep rolling. All right, now to college football. I got some games. I got 5, which is a mistake probably. But all right, first one, Mississippi State +6 at South Carolina. I like Mississippi State +6. I really like Florida State -2 at Clemson. I'm going with Colorado +21 to keep it under 3 touchdowns. Just keep it under 3 touchdowns. That's all you got to do. If you're that good, you're going to keep it under 3 touchdowns for me. If it's that good, if it's that much of a machine, you keep it under 3 touchdowns against Oregon.
Yeah.
If they beat Oregon, then that's it.
Right.
I'm not saying another word.
Yeah.
Because this is this is top 10 Oregon.
Right. I mean, yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. I really like. This is funny. This team runs the ball a lot, and I think because of time, Duke won't have enough time to cover the 21.5. So I like UConn +21.5 because Duke, they just run the ball too much. And the timing and the way the clock moves, I just don't think they'd have time to cover.
Right.
I'm going to go with UConn because Duke won't have enough time to cover +21.5. And I really, really like Oklahoma -14 at Cincinnati. So there you go. Mississippi State +6, Florida State -2, Colorado +21, UConn +21.5, and Oklahoma -14. And I'll post all these out there. I'll put them on the Spitball and Sports Facebook page and Twitter. Yeah, that's about it. We ran through them. We ran through the games pretty good.
Yeah.
Don't forget that Spitball and Sports now has a official 2 hockey shows, basically.
Yeah.
I've got the Last Word on Hockey. It's Spitball and Sports, the NHL edition. It's everywhere. Jim Behringer. So you can't beat him. He's all over. You see him on TV. You see him everywhere. So we're lucky to have him. And then I do Puckett with Bill. That's fun.
Yes.
Me and Bill do Puckett. Bill Akins. He's also, because we have the Pittsburgh Sports Desk now on Spitball and Sports.
Yeah.
So that's fun. We're going to be going back on again, me and Scott, very soon. Maybe after week 4, I think he was saying. Or maybe coming into week 5. I can't remember. Whatever Bill wants us, we'll be there. So look forward to that. So we have a lot of things going on. Don't forget the wrestling show tomorrow at 2:00. And Citizens United is only for Western New York area. So if you're in Western New York, we'll be doing that on Monday. Is there anything I forgot?
No?
No, I think that's everything, right?
Yeah.
Because we do, Spitball and Sports also has a soccer show at 9 that Bill does with one of the guys from the Pittsburgh Sports Desk.
Oh.
So if you like soccer, we have a soccer show for you.
Yeah.
I think it's a weird time when it's on. I got to find out, but it comes on our network thing here. Don't forget the Friends Media Network too, because that's where our YouTube is. We have Twitter and of course Facebook. So Robin, maybe next week we'll have our studio set up and you'll be visual.
I hope so.
It'll be nice, right?
Not that I want to be visual, but
well, it's just nice so people can see where you're coming from.
Right. Yeah.
And then when poor Scott's at his house, he can know when you want to talk.
Right.
You can see each other.
Yeah.
All right. And hopefully Scott's having a good time. And I thank everyone for watching us.
Yes. Enjoying Salisbury Hill.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And hopefully your bets win and ours do too.
Yeah.
And
may we all make money.
And let's hope Ohio. You keep off that. Ohio State's going to lose. I have a bad feeling. If I'm betting that game, by the way, I'm betting Notre Dame. I can't pick Ohio State.
I'm not betting that.
No, I'm not betting it. I'm saying if I had to. If I'm not a fan, and I take myself away from being a fan.
Right.
I only go with Notre Dame because they're at home and they're a dog. And I don't know if Ohio State is the same. So far, they're not.
Right.
They're not the Ohio State that it's just like it. I feel like I could see Ohio State and Alabama being in a bowl game somewhere outside of the playoff.
Yes.
Against each other.
Yes.
Which would be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
I think they start playing Alabama soon.
If that happens, do you think Ryan Day goes?
If they lose to Michigan, maybe. Michigan's going to be the key.
Oh, they're going to.
If they lose to Michigan, you never know with Michigan. You never know in that kind of game.
Yeah.
You just never know. If they lose to Penn State, the conference games will be interesting. Penn State, Michigan. If they lose to Michigan, though, again, that's 4 straight. Now we're having problems.
Right.
So I would think, I'm telling you, Mike Vrabel's going to come someday.
Oh, that would.
I have a feeling.
I would be so happy.
It wouldn't shock me. He's wearing out his time in Tennessee, I think, and he'll end up at Ohio State. Brian Hartline would be a fine head coach. He's there right now.
Yeah.
You need I like ex-Ohio State, ex-players, and Hartline is there. They like him. He's the offensive coordinator now.
Right.
So maybe Ryan Day needs to come and coach Justin Fields. Or
yeah.
He's an offensive guy. He might do well in the NFL as a head coach.
Yeah.
It's a different thing,
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. Everybody take care. Hopefully you win. Watch football all weekend. Great games tomorrow and of course on Sunday.
Hey, everyone.